Practical effects are fundamental in making a movie's effects go from good to fantastic. One of the best examples from our times is the effects of the Harry Potter saga. Let's look at 3 fantastic animatronics and effects in the Harry Potter movies. Fawkes, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Practical effects and CGI have to go hand in hand. One must complement the other. These two disciplines must work together from the beginning for this mixture to work perfectly. But what happens when they don't? Trouble arises. And that was the case with Fawkes the Phoenix. Fawkes is such a loved creature that he appears in the Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery game. Just want to say thank you, Jam City, for sponsoring this video. You can download Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery for free using the link below. We'll also be giving 5 Funko figures, so stay tuned for that. And if 200 of you download the game using our link, we'll be giving away this figure. Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery is so much fun. Here you can customize your own character, choose your house, and live out magical moments as a student at Hogwarts. Our favorite house is Hufflepuff, because they are underappreciated for their loyalty and friendship. And we love to see their common room for the first time and experience Hogwarts from their perspective. When you download the game using our link below, let us know which house you choose and why. In the game, you can master spells and potions to use in classes for dueling other students and to progress throughout the story. All your favorite characters are here, like Dumbledore, McGonagall, Snape, Hagrid, the Weasley twins, Dobby, and all of our favorite magical creatures from the Fantastic Beasts films. Not only that, but there's a large, diverse cast of original characters to meet, become friends with, or rivals with, and even date. We were so excited to see the freedom you have to create a custom character that feels like you, with a wide range of diverse hairstyles and outfits to unlock. You can even decorate and customize your own dorm room. And also, Quidditch! Play anytime as you unlock and learn each position, work your way up to captain, and progress in an exciting, unique storyline. And one last thing for all you Potterheads, we'll be giving away 5 Funko figures to 5 different people who download the game using our link. Screenshot themselves reaching Chapter 5 of Year 1, and tag us on Instagram. The winner will be picked in a month. Plus, if we hit 200 downloads using our link, we'll be giving away this Funko figure. The link below is a creator code, so anything you spend in-game will help support us and our channel. Big thanks again to Jam City for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to Fawkes. Fawkes was a crucial part of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, so this animatronic had to be done perfectly. The inspiration for it came from real birds, and also some mythological ones. Artist Adam Brockbank was responsible for its design, and he and the team came up with 3 different designs for the Phoenix's 3 stages: dying adult, hatchling, and reborn adult. Once these designs were approved, the illustrations and concept passed directly to Nick Dudman, the creature effects supervisor, and his team. This would end up being a huge problem later on. They created 3 different animatronics for the stages that we mentioned before. This would make a fantastic sense of interaction between the actors and the animatronics in the scenes where it would be used. The animatronics were used for most of the scenes where Fawkes appears. In the scene where the Phoenix is introduced, you can see the old and withered animatronic Fawkes, controlled by Josh Lee and Andy Roberts. Then he suddenly bursts into flames, combining a practical fire effect and digital compositing by MPC. And then we can see how he is reborn from his own ashes. This was done by creating a full-size, and very cute we might add, hatchling animatronic. These are only 2 animatronics created for the movie, so where's the third? For the scenes inside the chamber, this 3rd adult Fawkes was created. This animatronic had a nictitating membrane in the eye, which could drop a tear, so the part where Fawkes saves Harry was not done with visual effects, but the animatronic was actually dropping a tear. These animatronics had lots of movements, from opening their beak, cocking their head sideways, and sliding along their perch. So much work was put into creating these animatronics to look real as possible that actor Richard Harris thought they were real birds trained for the production.
There was one moment where Fawkes, the animatronic Phoenix in the 2nd film, the guys that were operating it, Richard thought it was a real bird, and it had a camera in it, so he would go up to it, and the guys outside would see him, and so they would start making it react, and for the entire scene, always thought it was a real bird.
In fact, when Dudman finally told Harris that the bird was animatronic, he wouldn't believe it until Dudman showed him how they brought it to life using a control button. All of the animatronics worked amazingly, but here's where the problem comes in. There were some scenes where Fawkes appeared that would have to be done using CGI, especially the ones where we would see the bird flying. But the digital effects artists from Framestore met more than one challenge. The Phoenix was manually built instead of being a refined digital design, and the digital model had to match the practical Phoenix. A problem problematic process since the puppets had not been sculpted with regard to flight, as they only had to be seen standing or sitting on a perch. They had to do all types of work and even animate the feathers one by one to make the digital model look like the animatronic. Thankfully, it worked out in the end, and Fawkes looks fantastic. Basilisk, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Apart from looking fantastic, practical effects aid filmmakers in many ways. They lessen the amount of needed digital effect sequences, saving budget, and more importantly, they provide actors with something physical to interact with, eliminating the awkwardness of moments like this. The Basilisk was one of these cases. Creating this monster the right way was very important because this creature is known for being one of the most terrifying in the wizarding world. The Serpent of Slytherin was designed by Robert Bliss, who based it on a Burmese python, and implemented characteristics of other reptiles, resulting in the Basilisk taking on a more dragon-like appearance. The original intention was to bring the Basilisk to the screen as a fully digital creation. So, a small-scale maquette was sculpted by Robert Bliss and Chris Fitzgerald, so it could be scanned digitally. And only the shed skin of the creature that we could see early on in the chamber scenes was going to be built practically. But Nick Dudman, the creature effects supervisor, suggested that they should build a full Basilisk animatronic puppet because a full sculpture was needed to mold the shed skin out of it eventually. So following this new direction, the crew would need to sculpt the Basilisk's head and neck. Gary Pollard led the creation of this sculpture, which was molded to obtain both the skins for the full-size puppets and the shed skin found early on in the chamber scenes. Now, the main Basilisk puppet was an animatronic, mechanized by Phil Ashton and Malcolm Evans. This animatronic employed aquatronics, hydraulic systems that function with water, allowing for smoother, gross movements. So, the animatronics had a fluid range of head and neck movement. The head was fully operational, with a jaw-opening mechanism and moving eyelids, nostrils, and a tongue. Its fangs were cable-controlled and could retract as its mouth closed and move forward as it opened. The Basilisk was mounted on a rig that allowed the creature to be raised and lowered, and also mounted on tracks that helped the creature slither up and get close to Daniel Radcliffe for the fighting scenes. In the end, the animatronic was used 10 times more than they ever thought they would. Of course, not everything can be made using practical effects. In this case, the practical Basilisk was intercut with a digital version. There were a total of 45 fantastic visual effects sequences that were devised by Framestore, a British animation visual effects company and creative studio. Also, there was another practical version made for the film. After the Basilisk's death, its corpse is seen lying on the floor of the chamber. This was just a dummy. The skin was molded in foam latex and polyurethane. And to top it off, the Basilisk skeleton makes a cameo in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, for which the team created an 8-foot-long, full-sized model of the Basilisk skull and neck vertebrae. In this case, we got to see the best of both worlds. Having practical effects and visual effects make a perfect combination. But what happens when practical effects don't work as we would want them to? Werewolf Transformation, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. One of the main disadvantages of practical effects is that they can be unpredictable sometimes. And that's where these two disciplines complement each other and even save each other in the case where the other fails. A clear example of this is the scene where Professor Lupin transforms into a werewolf in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. For this scene, director Alfonso Cuarón wanted to use a mixture of practical effects using animatronic suits and visual effects. So he asked the design team to walk away from the original werewolf design, which was depicted as a large wolf with subtle human traits, and create a new version that was a complete hybrid of man and wolf. An idea that would allow more freedom in visual design. For the scene in the film, the transformation begins with a 2-stage makeup, and then progresses through animatronics and CGI. Contact lenses, teeth, and facial prosthetics at the corner of David Thewelt's mouth suggest Lupin's mouth splitting back into his skull. A cable-controlled back harness deformed Lupin's spine as his jacket split apart, unveiling the hunched back and shoulder blades. Makeup bladders applied on the neck were inflated subtly. Close-up shots of Lupin's claws bursting through fingertips and his legs elongating into a wolf-like configuration were photographed afterward as insert shots. The final stage of Lupin's transformation, with his head head finally changing into the werewolves was achieved with digital effects handled by MPC. This whole process worked perfectly, but the problem came when the time to create the full werewolf body came. Because despite the creature's inhuman proportions, Quarren wanted to bring the werewolf to life through a combination of a performer in a creature suit and a CGI version of the character without compromising the design that had been created for this character. This resulted in a fantastic animatronic suit that was a nightmare for actors to perform. The werewolf suits were constructed to fit 2 performers. The foam latex suits were skin tight and featured a neck extension with eye holes, ending in a fully animatronic radio-controlled head and arm and leg extensions. When the performer threw his weight forward, he rose up on the stilts, transferring the weight to his shins. The head of the werewolf was attached to a weight-supporting spine that distributed the weight around the hips and shoulders. These werewolf tests and rehearsals were initially successful, but those results could not be replicated on the hilltop set where the climactic scene had to be shot. Between claustrophobia and the awkward positions they were in, the performers were able to do what they were asked to do, but not perfectly and without much grace. The team realized that they should have compromised more with the design of the character in the beginning, or they should have decided to have these scenes made purely in CGI, because in the end, the only practical werewolf shot surviving in the final cut of the film is a quick over-the-shoulder shot. So, in the end, visual effects saved the day. Want to see more examples of how VFX and practical effects work perfectly together? Check out this Jurassic Park animatronics video, and let us know in the comments if you would like to see a part 2 of this video.